Welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and we are broadcasting live from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It is actually another beautiful day here in the Twin Cities, and I am so grateful to be here with you today, and I hope all of you listening are doing well. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to help you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in a few minutes will be Susanne Grochett, Director of Care Options Network. This is one of the best publications in the country for helping providers and social workers and other professionals make sure they're taking care of us here in Minnesota. She will talk about the trusted local network of senior care providers across services and housing that is ready to support older adults and caregivers in the greater metro area. Care Options Network, 36 years strong and unique to our community, and that's for sure, collects provider healthcare service information and organizes it and publishes it in 2 resources. The GuideBook, which is huge, I'm just looking at it right now, is for the professionals, and then the Directory is for the consumer. And both are available in print and online. The GuideBook and the Directory offer comprehensive services and housing options for older adults, helping them find the right fit for them. You'll enjoy listening to my show today with Susanne Grochett. I want to thank all of you that leave us messages on our radio show phone line. We appreciate hearing from you, and we welcome your comments, questions, and topics for future shows. Also, if you are interested in being a guest on our radio show, please call or text us at 612-999-3426. You can also contact us on our website at livinghealthyradio.com. There you can find information about upcoming guests as well as listen to our previous shows, and we look forward to hearing from you. We are adding new listeners to the show each week, and we're so grateful for that, not only here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, but also throughout the country. You can find podcasts for all of our radio shows on the AM 950 radio website, and we can also be found on iTunes, Spotify, and many other podcast and streaming services. You can also watch our broadcast live on the radio station's Facebook page at AM 950 Radio. If you have a question for us today, there are 2 ways to reach us. First, by calling the AM 950 radio station, and our friendly show engineer, Adam, will get your call on the air. Our phone number is 952-946-6205. Or you can text us your questions at 612-999-3426. Now, don't worry if you missed our contact numbers. I'll repeat them throughout the show. All right. I want to welcome my guest for today. I've known Susanne for many, many years, so this is a real privilege to have you here on the show today. She is the Director of Care Options Network. Welcome to the show, Susanne.
Ken, thank you so much for having me.
All right. I want to make sure people know that for those who are following us along at home, and many of our audience members do, they can see online what we're talking about at careoptionsnetwork.org.
That's correct.
All right. And you've brought the big guidebook here. People, I remember looking at phone books when I was younger, back when they had phone books. And this is bigger than the phone books. So it's massive. It's, over 1,000 pages, right?
It's 750 pages.
750.
Weighing in at about 5 pounds.
About 5 pounds. Yeah, I saw you carrying this into the station today. I thought, oh my goodness, you need to, get a dolly or something. And then, of course, we have the directory with you as well. So we'll talk about that here during the show here. But I do want to start, giving just a little bit of a background on how did Care Options Network start? This is really a unique resource available to us here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota that is not necessarily everywhere in the country. This is a Minnesota thing.
Yes, we're one of a kind. We are not duplicate it nationally in any way. And I think the first thing really that is so important to understand to listeners today is that the Minneapolis-St. Paul area has a source for older adults and caregivers established for 36 years. And there are providers and people in our community ready to help older adults when transitions start happening. So just want that to be really clear that Care Options Network and our members, because we are membership based, have been established in our community for 36 years. And social workers and individuals that are helping older adults and their families in times of transition trust Care Options Network. And we're here. We're here for older adults, and this, like you said, is a very special thing.
Yeah, it is. And as we talked before the show, the one thing we all have in common is we're aging. And that requires us to be adaptable because the needs for all of us change as we age. And we were also talking about how, for the first time in recorded history, we have more people alive that are 65 and older than we have 18 and younger.
That's correct.
So that bell curve, if you remember your statistics class, that bell curve is really shifting from an age standpoint over to the right side of the graph.
That's right.
And it's putting a lot of stress on the entire system, on society in general. And as we were talking, just at this point here, the state demographer's office says there's 1 in 10 Minnesotans that are unpaid taking care of someone who's disabled or elderly. And it's only going to increase.
That's right.
As time goes on.
With the boomer generation, and 1 in 5 Minnesotans are an older adult. So this is an important time for us to support older adults and to, like you said, recognize what we do all have in common is we're aging. And we're either supporting someone who might be in that space of aging, or we are that person.
Right.
But 36 years ago, back to your initial question, how Care Options Network was founded.
Right. What was the idea? I see your vision here is making aging easier.
Yes.
That's one of the best vision statements I've ever seen.
It's clear.
Yeah.
It is clear, yes. So Care Options Network 36 years ago started from a need. One of our founders' mothers broke her hip, and ended up in the hospital. And at the time of discharge from the hospital, the mother and family sat down with the social worker. And the social worker recommended discharge for mom into a transitional care facility. And the family, being new to this in this high stakes emotional time, asked for the social worker's recommendation. And the social worker said, "Where do you live, Minneapolis or St. Paul?" They said Minneapolis. She opened her right-hand drawer and pulled out her business cards for Minneapolis. Left-hand drawer contained business cards for St. Paul. So that is when the need was identified. And at that moment, because of how much that person supported the founder's mother and their family in this high-stakes moment, it was that experience that created our cornerstone publication, the GuideBook, as well as Care Options Network. So Care Options Network ultimately is a business-to-business association of providers who are specifically in the senior care industry locally. So St. Paul, Minneapolis, greater metro area.
Yeah.
And for 36 years, what Care Options Network has really tried to support is providers coming together across competitive business lines to be a part of a comprehensive resource that a social worker can turn to and trust, knowing that in this resource that you mentioned is 750 pages big, 5 pounds heavy. In this resource, there is the correct housing or a correct service for my mom or your mom in the moment when they need to be referred to that. And the guidebook has been really created by social workers. Care Options Network, we're a small team. There's 5 of us.
I know.
We're small but
I've
mighty.
been to your office, and it's amazing what you guys do with 5 people.
Yeah, 5 people supporting about 1,000 members.
Yeah.
And the five team members, we don't decide data points that go into the guidebook. We actually work hand in hand with social workers saying, what are the referral points that you need in order to help you make an efficient and, most importantly, correct referral for the individual sitting in front of you today.
Yeah. Boy, there's a lot of questions I have. It's time for a short break, though, so we'll hold those questions in my head until we get back. All right, folks, it's time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Susanne Grochett, Director of Care Options Network. And we are talking about the trusted local network of senior care providers across services and housing that is ready to support older adults and caregivers in the greater metro area. If you have a question, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Peace of mind shouldn't cost a fortune. We keep things simple at Schroman Law because we believe planning for your estate and end-of-life care shouldn't be stressful or expensive. Every client relationship starts with a free consultation so clients have the information they need before making important decisions. From there, we work closely with clients to ensure they are choosing the most efficient and cost-effective plans for their specific needs. Schedule a free consultation today at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Progressive change doesn't just happen. It takes dedication and a lot of hard work. 25 years ago, the Databank pioneered a new generation of software tools for progressive organizations here in Minnesota. Since then, thousands of organizations have used the Databank to create progressive change. Today, the Databank continues to help progressive organizations like AM 950. To have the Databank help your organization build capacity and create more change, text CHANGE to 612-540-0500 or go to thedatabank.com. The Databank, a quarter century of dedication and hard work for progressive organizations.
Hi, I'm Peter Solak.
And I'm Adam Ostrowski.
We are here at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces to talk about the joy of live fire cooking. Cooking over a live fire is the oldest and most basic form of cooking.
What's new is in the way fire is handled and its heat is managed.
It's easier to experience and enjoy the smell and taste of food cooked over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces sells and installs live fire grills, fire pits, and ovens. Let us help you experience the smell, the taste, the fun of cooking with fire.
Pizza was first made and is still best made in an open fire oven. The radiant and conductive heat of a live fire is unmatched for wood roasting and baking artisan breads too.
Come see the many ways you can cook over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood and gas units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. More information at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that works for you. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
This is Andy Otto, your host of Twin Cities Pride Amplified, inviting you to join us this Saturday at 3 p.m. as we visit with Oline and Karen from Quatrefoil Library. Quatrefoil Library has a unique history here in the Twin Cities. Its role in the LGBTQ+ community continues to grow and is more important than ever. Join us this Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Susanne Grochett. She is the Director of Care Options Network. Now, those of you who are not in the professional clinician and social work world may not have heard about the Care Options Network, but you may have heard about the directory, because that's throughout the Twin Cities area, and we'll talk about that here. And she is speaking to us about the trusted local network of senior care providers across both services and housing that is ready to support older adults and their caregivers in the greater metro area. Susanne, how can our listeners contact your organization if they have questions or want more information, especially about the directory? But we also have a lot of professionals that listen to this show. And so I guess either audience, how would they get a hold of you guys if they had more questions?
Sure. We love people to connect with us, and you can do that through our website. Our URL is careoptionsnetwork.org, and there is a contact button at the bottom of each page, and you can reach out to us. Again, our team, there's 5 of us, so you will hear from one of the 5 of us.
That is just great. Again, the work you do and bringing people together. I mean, I just love that story about business cards from Minneapolis on one side of the desk and business cards from St. Paul. And that was 36 years ago.
That was 36 years ago, when the landscape was very different.
My gosh.
Yes, so a lot of growth in this industry.
Well,
absolutely.
And I mean, it kind of has a similar trajectory to our baby boom generation too. As the needs have grown, it's amazing how resources happen.
Yes.
Because people realize it. And again, you guys had a founder, someone who had a vision and said, wait a minute here, this could be done better. I mean, I just love the innovation that America kind of stimulates in people. And so it started as a small business, right?
It did start as a small business, 2 founders. And they had a great idea from a business perspective, and also so important, they had a heart as well for older adults. So, and social workers who, I have always heard are angels on earth.
Boy, for sure.
And looking at the guidebook today, with 750 pages, it shows you how many options are available across housing and services for older adults. And it's a lot. It's a lot to understand, and frequently in a time of crisis.
That's
right.
Exactly right.
Mm-hmm. So social workers, really truly are angels on earth, because they are pointing you to options that support you where you're at economically, from a healthcare status, because there is the right fit for you.
That's an interesting point. There's a right fit for you. I over the years, so just want to say, Minnesota Hospice is a member. We've been a member for our entire time here. We've been in business for over 9 years now, and you guys have been a central part in getting the word out about us as a new organization 9 years ago. But I think it's so important, because we find that patients or families that come to us, it really is always a crisis. It's I don't know, we think we're going to live forever, and we think nothing's going to change, but it's amazing how when someone goes to the hospital with a broken hip or something, and the doctors say, we can't fix this for whatever reason. Maybe there's like a comorbidity, a heart issue, or just a person couldn't survive the surgery. And they turn to the family and say, not much we can do. Boy, is that ever a tough thing for families to process and say, well, now what do we do?
Yes, hard to process emotionally.
Yes.
And then determine what are our next steps at the same time that we're managing strong emotions.
Right,
yes.
Right. Well, and then many times the hospital say, and your loved one can't go home alone. They can't go home and live independently. Again, which is a shock for people, because we just don't plan for things. We don't say, well, what if mom or dad can't live on their own? What is that next step? And a lot of times people don't talk about it. So there's just a real lack of planning, even though, as you said in the first segment, we're all aging and time is undefeated.
Yes.
And we're all gonna have to deal with this. Everything from advanced directives to planning for housing, there's just so many things that really people should be thinking about, but we procrastinate.
Before I worked at Care Options Network, I worked at an elder law firm, and speaking of advanced directives and planning that way with the power of attorney, those are just messaging that's so important for not only older adults, but for all of us to hear how important it is to have those directives in order. Yeah. And if we don't, in the hospital setting, insert social worker. They are there to guide you and support you in this moment and to give you those next steps, 1, 2, 3, that you need to do first, second, third, as you navigate whatever path you're heading towards, whether that might be transitioning out of a home, whether it might be transitioning into hospice care.
Right.
It could be home modifications. All of these providers that are in the guidebook can support that.
Yeah.
And please do remember there are people behind these providers. And this is why Care Options Network works, because this industry of senior care professionals, they do work with a heart. Yeah. And they want to support their client and their patient, and they will refer their patient to the supports they need, even if it's not the service that they specifically offer. Yeah. And that's really why network is in our name. Behind a list of providers, there is a web of relationships that exist in the senior care industry. And that web of relationships is nurtured, has been nurtured for 36 years by Care Options Network. And that is really the strength of this community that we have in senior care providers, because working across competitive business lines that way is just a little bit of a different environment than the way business is sometimes done. And I have not only seen it, I've been at Care Options Network for 16 years, I feel it. There is a strong sense of community and a mission to serve, even in this industrious industry.
That is going through massive changes.
Correct.
All right. Well, it's time for another break here. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well. It's time for a short break. We'll be back to continue our conversation with Susanne Grochett, Director of Care Options Network. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or you can text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
I'm Brian Strawn, and I'm running for City Council in Ward 1 because it's time to roll up our sleeves and get back to basics. Safe neighborhoods, thriving local communities, and city services that actually work. I'm a designer and a builder, and I'll bring that same hands-on mindset to City Hall. Practical, people-first leadership. Caucus for me on April 8th, and let's build a city that works from the bottom up. Learn more at brianstrawn.org. That's Brian, STRAHAN.org.
Prepared and paid for by the Strawn for Ward 1 Committee.
End-of-life decisions are not easy. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be part of something bigger, something that matters and that you can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We felt that way too. I'm Sergeant Michael Tislin from Chaska, Minnesota, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Minnesota Army National Guard soldiers, we are people just like you, and together we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit nationalguard.com/MN to find out more. Sponsored by the Minnesota Army National Guard, aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey all, Matt McNeil here. Join me in the love fest that's my show, The Matt McNeil Show, airing 3 to 5 weekday afternoons on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. As the dark ages return, this time with an orange hue, I'm not going to stop calling out the incompetency, hate, stupidity, ignorance, evilness, racism, pettiness, horrifically unfair, and bigoted policies of the right. The one thing they want us to do is conform, and I'm just not going to do that. Come along for the ride. I'll keep the fire warm. The Matt McNeil Show, 3 to 5 p.m. weekday afternoons, right here on AM 950.
Owning a home, running a business, and raising a family in Minneapolis is getting harder. I'm Becca Thompson, and I'm running for City Council to change that. We can lower property taxes for families, support small businesses, and invest in affordable housing without wasteful spending. Caucus for me on April 8th. Let's build a city where everyone can afford to live, work, and thrive. Visit voteforbecca.com to learn more. That's vote, the number 4, BECKA.com.
Prepared and paid for by Friends of Becca Thompson 2025.
Minneapolis is growing, but too many families are struggling to find affordable homes. I'm Shelley Medore, and I'm ready to work collaboratively to ensure that changes. We need to think beyond just building new housing. Let's also refurbish and repurpose existing homes, support first-time homebuyers, and strengthen renter protections. When we invest in a mix of solutions, we create a city where everyone has access to stable, affordable housing. Caucus for me on April 8th, and let's build a stronger, more inclusive Minneapolis together. Learn more at shelleymedore.org.
Paid for by Shelley Medore for Ward 2. With a look at your AM 950 forecast, this is Adam. For today, expect sunny skies and a high of 42. Tonight, clear, a low of 30. Crooner Supper Club has an exciting mix of shows all year long. Find a concert experience that's right for you at croonersmn.com. Before or after your show, check out the new Maggie's Lounge, a perfect spot to visit with friends. It's open Wednesday through Sundays, beginning at 4:30 p.m. for cocktails and light fare. ATNF AM 950, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Saturday.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Susanne Grochett, and she is the Director of Care Options Network. And we are talking about the trusted local network of senior care providers across both services and housing, and that is ready to support older adults and caregivers in the greater metro area. And Care Options Network has been going strong for 36 years and is truly unique to our community. We are very, very fortunate and blessed to have this organization here supporting our communities in the greater metro area. Before we return to our conversation with Susanne, I want to mention this radio show is brought to you in part each week by Minnesota Hospice. Minnesota Hospice is an independent, locally owned medical practice serving our Twin Cities communities with comprehensive end-of-life health care. The team at Minnesota Hospice provides patients and family members with award-winning end-of-life health care services. You may not be aware that hospice brings compassionate medical, social, emotional, and spiritual services right to your home with typically no cost to you or your family. Please do not wait to learn how hospice care can benefit you and your loved ones. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. They are available to answer your questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and their phone is answered by a registered nurse that's a part of Minnesota Hospice. Their phone number is 952-898-1022. Once again, 952-898-1022, or simply visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. All right, let's return to our conversation with Susanne. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or you can text us at 612-999-3426. Susanne, now how can our listeners contact you and your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Yes, you can jump online and go to our website. It is careoptionsnetwork.org, and there is a Contact Us button at the bottom of each page, and at the top of each page, and you can reach us that way.
Right. Perfect. And what a tremendously rich website of information for people. I mean, I know people just, go and ask Siri or Google or Alexa, but I mean, this is a great website that's been curated for over, years and years and years to really get the best options for people for their needs. And again, at some point I was thinking we could just look at all the different categories. I mean, you have literally just an amazing directory in the front of the book, in the Care Options book, as well as the directory. And I want to make sure people know they've got really there's three different sources here. One for the professional community, the referral community, and then there's the directory for the consumer who's just looking for services or housing. Two different audiences, but if you go on the website, a person can access both of those. And again, it's just a rich source of information for people looking for help and looking for ideas on how to help care for their loved ones or for themselves.
That's right. And at careoptionsnetwork.org, it's important to note no personal information is collected, and how we present housing and services, it's in alphabetical order. And really, it's an opportunity for viewers to compare apples to apples when they are looking, for instance, for assisted living or memory care in Eden Prairie, or if they're looking for active aging communities in Eden Prairie, or home care, or hospice, or an elder law attorney, a community agency. The list goes on and on and on. With over 1,000 members, all of them are visible on our website, and the comprehensive nature of that in itself is a true gem.
Well, it's interesting. I've had several members from your organization on our radio show, and again, as you said, these are people who are really committed to the profession of helping others.
Absolutely.
And it is a membership that has really developed over, like I say, the course of decades.
Yeah, our audience of older adults and the general public, the consumer, is ultimately who is served by all of our members. At the core, however, what we really do, especially for a new business in this industry, we are a landing ground for professionals to learn who are other providers in this space. Who should I build relationship with to pass referrals to, as well as to receive referrals from? Again, this is weaving that network, and if we do it at the provider level, it's natural that supports older adults in our community. It really makes sense how it's built. One thing I really want to speak to for consumers is letting everyone know they can find a copy of our consumer magazine called The Directory. We distribute it first and I think most spectacularly through our membership, through our 1,000 members. So if an assisted living community or an elder law attorney is passing it to older adults, it is getting to the correct target audience. Also, Senior Linkage Line, which is our state-supported call center, mails out copies of the directory to callers free of charge. Our libraries also receive copies, and those are available at libraries, community centers, senior centers, hospitals, specifically within the care management teams, and AARP booth at the Mall of America also passes us out. So we have a really strong distribution of about 30,000 magazines offered free of charge to our community annually, and our members are detailed in the directory. So a list of hospice providers, a list of private pay home care agencies, Medicare home health care, assisted living, residential assisted living. The list goes on and on. Our data is distilled and brought forward in the directory, offered and shared with the community. And we also have a click-through version of this magazine online. That URL is seniorhousinginc.org. So listeners, you can also click through this magazine. We do have a new edition that will be live at the beginning, about 1 week from today.
Yeah, I was going to say, right. Yeah, middle of April, yeah.
Yes, so this is another really wonderful resource that also has great editorial content in there from this year. Robin Birkland from the University of Minnesota School of Public Health. She has a wonderful article in there, as well as Mayo Press. And then wonderful articles that are authored by our members, talking specifically about what they know about. So really wonderful editorial content, as well as housing and services that are available in our community.
Yeah, and it's it's just so fascinating too, because we had the opportunity to write an article in there as well, and it was we were very honored to have that opportunity. But what's nice is that you are working with people that are in the industry, really understand what's going on, and can relate some of the trends that are happening. I think, like I said earlier in the show, we don't plan for this. We don't think about this necessarily until a crisis happens, or until an event or something happens that causes us to go, oh my gosh, now what do I do? Because this is not just something that you people just are involved with, unless it is your profession. And that's
Correct.
why the for people that are looking for help and support, go to your website, but then talk to your provider, talk to your organization, talk to the people that you are involved with, to get more information about how they can access this information, especially at the hospitals. I know so many times people go to the hospital because it's unexpected, and they get unexpected news. It's all unexpected, but that's where I know that the hospitals that we work with refer to your Care Options Network book all the time, the guide.
They do. They look at the guidebook as their referring partner.
Right. And it's so great. But for businesses, both new and established, this is a great membership. I mean, for people who haven't either known about it or have been thinking about it, this is a time to really look ahead and get your membership and get access for yourself and get published in the guide, so that other professionals and other resources can find you.
That's right. The more comprehensive our membership is, the better all of us can serve older adults in our community. And for 36 years, I mean, we have a proof of concept. It works.
It does work.
It creates some wonderful win-wins. And it is really just a thrill to see those synergies happen. And together we're better.
Yeah.
We know that phrase so well, and it is true.
Yeah. So I know that, so talking to those professionals that listen to the show, you have that weekly network news email blast that goes to the professional network that you have there. And I'm not sure if everybody understands, who works in the professional side of healthcare, that's available to people free.
It is. You can find it on our website at careoptionsnetwork.org under the banner news. And every Monday we publish a newsletter, and truly it's submissions from our members that we organize, really similar to our resource publications. But we organize that news, whether that's a dated event or a continuing education opportunity for social workers that perhaps a senior living community is hosting, or a hospice agency is providing the education for. There are also support groups that are listed in there that social workers can share with their patients. For support groups for caregivers specifically. There's quite an opportunity to be able to be a part of something supportive like that. Association meetings for the professional, etc. It's a wonderful tool for the provider. And a wonderful way to get your brand out, as well as to build relationships within the industry.
Even recruiting for professionals for your organization.
That's right. That's right.
All right, it's time for a short break, folks. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Susanne Grochett, and she's the director of Care Options Network. If you have a question, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you're listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Corey Wisco, president of the Welshire. The Welshire is a community that provides memory care to its residents, and we have a location in Bloomington and also another one that we just opened in Medina, Minnesota. But the big question is that why do people come to Welshire? Many of the people coming to Welshire are coming from other memory care communities where they maybe haven't received bathing, they've had problems taking medication, or inconsistency with staffing. Welshire has never used a temporary staff. We always have our own people, and it's those people that make the difference. We have always felt it's so important to have 24-hour nursing in the building. The other thing is you have to have an amazing activity team. Nobody employs more activity people than Welshire. Our activities begin in the morning, go all the way through the evening, 7 days a week. So if you have a loved one that needs memory care, come visit WelshireMN.com and book a tour today.
Live and share mental health with Becoming Together Therapy and Wellness. Hello, everyone. We are Becky McNatten and Tara Martini, hosts of Feels Out Loud, a show dedicated to expanding the paradigm of mental health.
Tune in to develop both personal and relational insight, language on emotions, and daily life application.
Join us weekly as we explore topics connected to mental wellness. Each Sunday at 9 a.m. here on AM 950, be a part of our mission to connect this world more authentically and fully with one another.
I believe in Minneapolis where everyone, longtime residents, and new arrivals feel safe, supported, and seen. That means tackling homelessness with real resources, investing in community safety, and advocating for local businesses. I'm Marcus Jones, a Minneapolis firefighter and a father. I'm not here to play politics. I'm here to deliver for Ward 9. Visit MarcusJones.com to join my campaign and learn more about attending your local caucus on April 8th.
This advertisement was paid for by Marcus Jones, candidate for Ward 9 of Minneapolis City Council.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Susanne Grochett, and she is the director of Care Options Network. So if you're not a professional, you may not have heard about this network, even though it's been around for 36 years, and it is the backbone of the referral process when people need help and they are working with a professional or a clinician or a social worker. And we are discussing this trusted local network of senior care providers across both services and housing, and they're ready to support older adults and caregivers in the greater metro area. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us your questions at 612-999-3426. Suzanne, how can our listeners contact you and your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Sure, you can go to our website at careoptionsnetwork.org. At the top ribbon of the page, there is a Contact Us button, and you can click that and be directed to contact us.
Okay, great. Now, you guys are a nonprofit.
Yes.
And so you also can receive donations.
Yes.
And it's a tax-deductible donation?
Yes, and there is a donation button as well at the bottom of the website, and that will go directly to our program. We are a part of Volunteers of America, Minnesota, Wisconsin, but through the donate button, it will go directly to Care Options Network.
Okay, fantastic. All right, I want to make sure we are really clear with people. So the consumer, someone who's looking for information, looking for specific services or housing needs, again, they can find that information both through the magazine, the Directory, which you have an example here. I'll show it to the camera, and also they can go on the website to also find things. And it seems like, from what my experience has been working with the elder population and the children, adult children, is that it's always about location. When they need, location, especially when it's like transitional care or finding assisted living, if it's not close and convenient, it really makes it hard for families to connect and stay supportive and have access to each other. So I think the way you've organized everything, which is by location, is really a smart move.
It's important. I think it's about being convenient and close, and I think it's also, environments that we're familiar with.
True.
So if, for instance, I'm transitioning from my home and I live in Robbinsdale, I probably would like to transition to a senior living community in that community because I'm familiar with it.
Yes, and some of the questions we're getting texted to us is there a cost? I think sometimes people think there's a cost, like a referral cost or other things of that nature, and that's to the consumer. This is all free.
To the consumer, it's all free. Our membership base, there are membership dues for providers. There are no referral kickbacks with Care Options Network,
Right.
So that's not how we support bringing information forward to the community. For the Directory, which is our consumer magazine, you can pick a copy of the printed magazine up at libraries, hospitals and clinics. Call Senior Linkage Line, AARP. We still print because our readers tell us they still like print.
Yes.
So we print both publications because of the request to do so. Also, you can find the Directory online, again, free. It's a click-through version. The direct URL is seniorhousinginc.org, and you can find a click-through version of the magazine as well. Otherwise, for any other information, Ken, you mentioned our newsletter that is published every Monday for providers. Data in the GuideBook, which again is the cornerstone resource for providers working directly with older adults. All of that information can be seen online, whether you're a member or not, or just a consumer. And that URL is careoptionsnetwork.org.
So what's nice is that, let's say a person is having a care conference at a discharge process at a hospital, and all this information is flooded to them, and they're maybe talking with a social worker, and they're getting all this information, and then they go home and they realize I don't remember any of it.
Right.
Because there's so many moving parts.
9 times out of 10.
Right. Right. And so again, the consumer again can call back the social worker, and then they can refer to the membership guide to see what they were talking about, or they can actually just go on to your website and get access to the same information that professional social worker or clinician had access to.
Absolutely. And we have encouraged hospitals and care management teams to actually put a flyer into discharge packets directing, similar to a PSA,
right,
directing families to careoptionsnetwork.org, because you're right, it is the exact same data that the social worker is using with them bedside.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So, and again, it is an opportunity to compare apples to apples, because more than likely you don't have just 2 options.
Oh my gosh.
You have a lot.
Right. Mm-hmm. I know many people because again, we are rich with resources here in Minnesota. We are, this is a very unique state, and the Twin Cities community is really unique. We have so many options that it becomes overwhelming for people.
It's true.
They don't know, it almost paralyzes them, because they go, where do I even start?
I know.
Just again, your guidebook here is 5 pounds of information.
That's right. It is overwhelming.
Yeah.
So we hope that we've brought forward data in a way, again, that is easy to compare side by side, and then of course allows you to call the provider directly to learn more.
Exactly. Well, this has been fantastic, but the hour just blew by.
It's
been
Ken.
great. I've known Susanne for years, and it's been great to have you on the show here. All right. I want to thank Susanne Grochett for being here today. She's the director of Care Options Network, and she's been telling us about this trusted local network of senior care providers across both services and housing that are ready to support older adults and caregivers in the greater metro area. Susanne, how can our listeners contact you or your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Reach out at careoptionsnetwork.org.
Fantastic. Susanne, thank you for being here today. I really enjoyed our conversation. We hope you and the audience have enjoyed our show as well. Please contact us with any questions or comments you have regarding today's conversation. You can reach us anytime by voice or text at 612-999-3426. Join us again next Saturday at noon for another broadcast. And thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. Until next time, please choose to live well.